Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Life Podcast. I'm Elizabeth here with Dr. Katie. It's been a while, huh?
It has been. Boy, seen any changes lately?
No, none. None whatsoever. Oh my God. Careful. We're going to start crying live on camera. Wow. Yeah, wow. Okay, so before we get to all the changes we've seen lately, so this is the Real Life Podcast, right? We keep it real. We keep the topic real. We go for about 20 minutes or so. And just to update you, so we've spent the past year writing a book. It is called the Peace Guidebook. You saw us when we signed our contract with our little peace sweaters and all that good stuff. And it is about to release on April 21st, 2026. So next month, about a month from now almost. And what a joy that is. I don't know. Take it away, Katie. I don't know.
Oh, it's been amazing. It's just been an amazing experience, and I use the tools from the book all the time in my work, and I can say with all certainty it works. And people have really responded well to the book that have read it. And we are just so grateful for this opportunity. We can't even hardly put it into words. It's just
Yeah.
so phenomenal.
Yeah, and we're really grateful for our launch team. We've got people in our community who are helping us launch so that we land on Amazon, dealing with that Amazon algorithm and 100 reviews on day one if we can, and all those things that matter to helping us launch the book into the world so people actually see the book, because there's 14 million books on Amazon, and so you're competing with a lot of noise and a lot of things going on in the world and stuff. So the structure of the book, so people know, is narrative from us, stories from 20 amazing contributors, right? And then
Oh.
20 exercises in the book or so. And so those contributors, boy, we had a call this past weekend. Amazing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Left in tears. It was
Yes.
just so overwhelmingly emotional because of what they've gone through and how they have discovered their own inner peace, and how a lot of them are major change workers in the world, and really phenomenally inspiring.
Yeah, and two of our contributors are getting, well, I don't want to throw marriage ahead. They just bought a house together. I just had them get married. Sorry, Chad and Jen. We just married you. Whatever. Anyway, that's so funny. But anyway, we have two contributors who met through the Peace Guidebook and just bought a house together and a puppy and all sorts of crazy cool stuff. So
Yeah.
that's Chad and Jen. And Desmond Tutu's daughter wrote the foreword for the book, and
Mm.
Christopher Ratko's in the book. I'm trying to think of what else. There's so many. Michael McGlone, Jennifer Vaughn,
Well,
Sarah
it's
Cook.
really a combination of people you've heard of, people you've never heard of, people who are everyday folks who have just lived extraordinary lives that you would never know it if they weren't in the book. And really, it's just a phenomenal combination.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to write and fun to see us write our second book together.
Mhm.
For those of you who aren't familiar with our books, like let's say this is the first time you're catching us on the Real Life Podcast, we've written a number of books. Katie has a book called Uplifting. I've got the Change Guidebook, the Success Guidebook, the Peace Guidebook, and then if you go back, 15 years, we wrote, maybe not about that many, we wrote Percolate, which is a Hay House book. It's called Percolate, Let Your Best Self Filter Through, which is a Hay House book. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of books, and I'm going to tell everybody besteveryou.com, because we have a new course called Practical Peace, and that is up on besteveryou.com. And it's under the Masterclass tab. But we also just joined on with Humanities Team, thanks to Katie. That was an amazing thing.
That's on my bucket list. Got it on off my bucket list. I love their group. I really do. I think they do phenomenal work.
Yeah. So we just joined Humanities Team as instructors. And so you'll see us appear on their website and their social media and so forth. And so we've got a course called Practical Peace that runs on Humanities Teams too. So I'm trying to think of any other updates. So our course, besteveryou.com, please, if you're listening, go to besteveryou.com, become a member. It's totally free. And there's so many resources on there, from articles and books and worksheets and master. There's just so much stuff on there that's free and amazing. So come on over to besteveryou.com or follow us on social media. That
Oh, our
is
freebies, our
yeah.
freebies.
Oh, yeah. Our freebies are great too, aren't they? You can, at the top of besteveryou.com, it says free gift. If you click that and put in your email, we'll send you 4 free gifts to your email. Fabulous gifts too, including a Spotify playlist.
Yes.
Yeah, that we worked hard
And
to
there, it's
pull the
really
songs.
wonderful music, and it
Yeah,
was
no, we
compiled
did.
by a bunch of different people, so it's
Yeah,
really wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what else? Anything else on the what we've been up to list? I think that's kind of a lot.
I think that's a lot.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
exhausted just listening to what we've
What do you
done.
want us to do? What we want you to do is pre-order the Peace Guidebook and join us over on besteveryou.com. That's our kind of mission right now. But we don't ever just ask for things without giving. So we want to talk to you about our topic on our podcast, of course, which is Katie. Katie has a really good topic. If you take it away, Katie. This is a whole Katie thing. Katie's
Well,
teaching us today.
well, because I'm a therapist and I speak to people every day who are everyday folks, just like everybody listening. There is a ripple of anxiety going on, and people are having exhaustion and fatigue, and they can't put their finger on why. Well, it is because our nervous systems are overloaded right now.
Yeah.
They're overloaded individually, and they're overloaded collectively. And the reason is because we're being challenged with this moral fatigue. Our value systems are being challenged on a daily basis. And people are actually afraid to have a conversation with people they would normally just engage with no problem. So they're becoming isolated, they're becoming withdrawn, and that's leading to this disconnection that does nothing but add to the fatigue.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's really important for everyone to do is to reconnect. And we talk about peaceful communication, and peaceful communication cannot happen if you're not connecting. And so having those tools to have these conversations, they might be hard, but you know what? They're better than not having them.
Yeah.
They're better than isolation, because that leads to the division. So the fatigue that most people are feeling, it is real. It is valid. A lot of people are feeling it because they aren't connecting in the way they normally are. They're not getting fed the way they need to energetically to make themselves feel better. And there's this value clarification going on. And regardless of what you believe, everybody's values are up in the air. Everybody's. And then it is the sense of helplessness
Yeah.
that takes over when decisions are being made and you feel powerless. But just to remind everyone, we're not powerless. Speak up, speak your truth, talk to people, have conversations, reconnect with your neighbors, and don't be afraid. If you believe differently, so what? That's what makes us who we are.
Yeah. Scream at the TV. No.
Scream at the TV.
TV.
Yeah. But then call a neighbor and just talk about the
Yeah.
weather, or,
Yeah.
but don't disconnect.
I got to tell you, even this is something even back from COVID, I really have to shut the news off.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do any kind of topics of any political anything before I go to sleep at night, or I don't sleep at night. It just does not work well with me. So I have to take the news in bits, and I think a lot of people do. It's frustrating because you want to be up to date and current, want to know what's going on and everything, but you can really get sucked into the negativity, the worry. For everybody listening, there's a term that Katie never throws around lightly, and she just used it. My ears perked up. Katie does not use the word anxiety at all or condone the use of it unless it's proper use of it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so, I mean, I just heard you use the word anxiety, and that means you mean it. It's like, yeah,
Well, yeah, because anxiety is a clinical term that requires a certain kinds of symptoms. Well, unfortunately, right now,
yeah,
there are a lot of people with these symptoms, not being able to sleep, being fatigued all the time, having anxiety, having real anxiety, like pressure on your stomach, pressure on your chest, not having trouble breathing. Those are anxiety symptoms, which actually right now a lot of people have,
yeah.
and they don't know why. And I'm saying this is why.
We're talking
You're
about.
worried.
Yeah, we're worried. And the other thing too, we still have people who aren't quite over, having dealt with COVID.
Mm,
And I'm hearing a lot that it's feeling like it's that all over again, minus COVID, but the same types of feelings going on where you just trying to live your normal life and then you have layers of things that are
hmm
compounding. Because even in your normal life, you might be caregiving, you might be, um, running around stressed out, too busy, too this, too that, whatever it is. And then on comes another layer of anything.
Right.
And it's just a recipe for nervous system blowout.
Right. Exactly. I mean, life is hard enough when you have what I love what you say, Elizabeth. You call it layers of life.
Yeah.
And when you're doing your everyday life, but then there's this other layer on top of it. And then there's the collective layer of anxiety and worry. But then there's also the everyday worry on top of the what ifs.
Yeah.
So
And
people really need to pay attention to don't try not to think about what you can't change. Oh God, this is real life. Something's fraying on my jacket and it's driving me nuts. There we
still,
go.
I know.
That's what
I got my
makes it
hair in
real
my eyes, and as you're
life.
talking, I'm like, that we're real. We don't edit this out either. It's
Nope.
a that's a
Nope.
love
This is
jacket.
real life
You
when you're
know,
doing a podcast from your basement.
yeah, and exactly. So, and I'm at the kitchen table in the condo. So,
Yeah.
um, I think one of the things we feel, and again, this night might not be clinically right or anything like that, but I'm going to say it anyway, is when you get your anxiety brewing, you kind of can feel a sense of impending doom too.
Yes.
Impending
Yes.
doom is a scary one. Uh,
It is. It
and you
is.
don't know whether it's real or fake or if you're intuitive or what's going to happen or whatever. But I think you're hearing it more and more. People are like, I'm afraid of what's going to happen next.
Right. There's a lot of what ifs.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens with the what ifs is the helplessness.
Yeah.
So take charge. What do you need to do to not feel helpless? Some people around here are just getting some extra water in the house. They're collecting some extra groceries because who knows? It could be a weather crisis. Look
Yeah.
what happened to Hawaii. We don't have to be feeling helpless if something happens that we can control, which is ourselves. And do you have the supplies in your house? Have them. Then you can forget it
Right.
because it's like my husband and I are always we're in a tsunami zone, right?
Yeah.
Signs all over the place. We're like, hey, I'll kiss you goodbye.
Yeah. We had
Because there's nothing we could do. I mean, there's
right.
absolutely nothing you
It's
can
not funny,
do.
but it's funny. I'm sorry.
It's yeah, I mean, I can't
No,
run
Katie,
for
well enough to laugh at that. Sorry, everybody
yeah.
who just
I
listened
mean,
to
I
that.
can't run fast. I can't run up a hill to get out of here. I mean, I
Yeah,
think we're
broken
high
hip.
enough, but if we're not, if the water comes, kiss your butt goodbye, and that's all you can do.
Running uphill with the hip. Yeah.
Oh yeah, running up the hill with a
Oh,
broken
stop.
hip.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that would
that's
be
too.
really pretty.
One of our
Mm.
kids for Christmas, he's a doomsdayer, right? And he'll doomsday scroll to the point where he freaks himself out. Anyway, his aunt bought him like a doomsday backpack.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like a full-on doomsday. And she was going to put cat food in it too for
Yeah.
his cat. The whole thing is hysterical, but real. But he's like, "Yep, I got enough to survive with my backpack for like
Yeah.
3 days."
Yeah, exactly. If the
It's
if the power
super
goes
cute.
out or
It was
something
actually really
happens,
cool.
I can
Yeah.
last a week.
Okay.
I've got my stuff, and what else can you do?
I don't know, but worry, and that's kind of where most of us sit back and yeah, worry. Um, when we're worried and we want to get out of worry, right? Just for like
Hmm.
a moment,
Hmm.
this is where some of the cliches come in that frustrate us, you and me and you. But sometimes the cliches aren't so bad to take people's minds off of things, like to go for a walk, go to the forest, go to the beach, go to read a
Right,
book,
right.
do something else. If people are sick and tired of hearing those things, journal, all the things that everybody says to do. What are some other things we can do other than
Well,
that?
the most important thing is what we talk about in the Peace Guidebook, which is the peaceful pause. Because
There it
you
is.
physiologically want to change your brain. You want to shift your thoughts away from the doomsday to something else, to a distraction like I'm going to think about my grocery list right now instead of what's going on in someplace else.
Yeah.
So it takes 30 to 40 seconds to breathe in, and what we teach is you breathe in peace and you breathe out love.
And
So
that
you
means
breathe
like
in
5.
Peace through your nose and then out through your mouth, Love. And if you repeat that 3 or 4 times, that's enough for your brain to shift its thinking, for your emotions to stabilize, for your anxiety to settle so that your physiological responses to the anxiety can shift,
Yep.
and for you to think about something that gives your life meaning.
And if you're having a baby, it's great breathing.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
yeah,
That's my husband's.
yeah,
It was in 2 3 4, out 2 3 4, in 2 3 4, out
yeah.
2 3 4, and your mind goes to a different place
It's the same
rather than feel
idea.
the
It's
pain. Yeah,
shifting
it's
your, yeah,
fabulous.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rhythmic kind of breathing. It's what we do with swimming. It's what we do with singing. It's a really healthy thing to learn how to do.
Oh,
But I really like doing the peace and love.
I do
Breathe in
too.
peace, breathe out love. It's a really nice image.
I think you've got a new labor technique there too. Imagine a child born to breathe in peace,
Mm,
breathe out love. That's
pretty
a way
cool.
better entrance into the world.
That's pretty
I
cool.
kind of love
Yeah.
that actually.
And then if
Um,
you have a beach or you have nature, go. Yes,
yeah,
those are all really important things, but we can't always do that in the middle of the day.
yeah. What about people who, by the way, we like to do this. I throw the questions up and Katie answers them because it's just easier and more fun and all that good stuff. Then we chime in. But what about the human being who's sitting there? Sometimes I'll take my mom, for example. She's 80. She's in the snow in Minnesota. She's, had this and that happen, a health crisis for the past 2 years. My dad died before that, and a few years before that even, and just things aren't always great.
Mhm. Yeah,
There's constant stress, let's just say, and it's in one area of your life or another, or maybe multiple areas at once. Trying to figure out the grocery bill, the heating bill, the this bill. A lot of people have a lot of monetary stress.
yep. The two most difficult things for people to do as they age is ask for help and let go of what they can't do anymore.
Yeah,
And so when I speak to seniors programs, I always say the same thing. Let go of what you can't do, think of what you can, and always, always, always get help.
yeah. I
And
saw you
those
put
two
that one in.
things are really huge because no matter what's going on in your life, if you focus on what you can't do, then you rob yourself of the opportunity to do what you can.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
can't walk 5 miles, but you can walk one. Or maybe you can't even walk one, but at least you can go to your driveway or something. You've got to replace what you could do with what you can do now.
yeah. That's really powerful. I saw you put that in motion with your pickleball injury.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
I
can
named
I
my
do? Yeah. So I
it's
don't know
fun.
if people know you had a pickleball. We haven't done this
Oh yeah.
podcast for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
Does
Yeah,
everybody
I
know
lasted
about
10
Katie's
minutes,
pickleball?
everyone, playing pickleball, 10 whole great minutes. It was a blast until I fell and broke my hip.
Oh,
So I actually did adapt that and have had
yeah.
to because it's been almost a year and I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
So I did things like I put ribbons on my walker. I named my walker Courage. I did all kinds of things to just, I can't do this, but I can do this,
Yeah.
and I'm still doing that. And it makes a huge difference when you
And
can't do something you're used to doing.
you'd be surprised too, just in this little podcast, it is not that comfortable for you to be sitting there, is it? Tell
Well, I
people
keep
what that
rocking.
is. I know. I love. Well, we were on a call earlier today, and it was like a podcast interview a podcast that somebody wants to have us on, and Katie was in her rocker rocking the whole time, like you're right, and I couldn't say it, and
Yeah.
whatever. It was really cute, but I think you put like bricks under your rocker so you're not rocking right now. It's a crack up, but tell people like the reality. You don't have to get up or anything like that, but I don't know if you have shorts on or what you've got on, so don't get up. But tell people the reality of the chair, because it's not that comfortable to sit. And I've been like, get a chair, get a this, get a that, and you're like, it's just not that comfortable.
No, I have to sit in a rocker
Yeah,
because after a while my hip starts to hurt and I have to get lean back so that I have less weight on it.
yeah.
And so I like my little rocker because my hip is happy. And so I'm gonna have to put little blocks under it so that I don't go like this all the
Well,
time. But
maybe I'll get one that rocks this way.
yeah.
We'll just drive people
But
nuts.
hey, aging is not for the faint of heart. We've all heard that. It's true. You
Yeah,
have to adapt.
yeah.
And
Oh, my mom
yeah,
always
and
says anybody over the age of 80 go well, like to fly around and stuff. And I was like, hey mom, you want to come to Maine? Are you scared to fly or whatever? And she'll always say anybody over the age of 80 doesn't fear a plane crash. It just cracks me up. I'm just like, yep. Yeah, she always says like aging is not for the wimps.
no,
It is
it's not.
not
But
not
you
easy.
have to adapt. And
Yeah.
if you don't, well, you don't
Who
have
cares?
to,
We'll
but
live.
you can whine and complain and feel lousy. But, if you want to keep living, you got to adapt.
Yeah, you do. What else? Okay, so go back to moral exhaustion for a minute. Everybody's pretty
Yeah.
wiped out, tired.
Yeah. It
And
makes it really tough, especially for young parents who
oh,
are trying to keep their families together, take care of their kids. Most of them are working. And when you've got this other layer of exhaustion. So to alleviate the exhaustion comes from feeling helpless.
everybody hear
Everybody's
that?
walking around going, I can't do anything about this. I can't do anything about this. Yes, you can. You can do something about you. You can do something about your family and how you're adapting. You can call people. You can speak to people. You can join anything. You can write whatever you want. Or if you don't want to be an activist because you don't have the energy, that's fine too. Be an activist in your own home. Make
Yeah,
sure you find ways to remain focused on your values. Make sure your values are aligned with what you do every day. And
that's so
if your
important.
value is kindness, like I love the Dalai Lama saying his religion is kindness.
Kindness, yeah, that's a
Isn't
great
that
one.
the best? And it's
Yes,
like if everybody would do that, just be kind.
yeah.
Can
You
you
know,
imagine?
that's a good. Actually, we were on the podcast earlier, and this lady was asking us about spirituality and how, and that's a really good response actually to what
Yeah,
spirituality is. It could just be
yeah.
kindness, because it's a really hard question to answer because people go straight to what, like people think spirituality and go, well, what religion are you, or what's this, or what's that, and I've been thinking about that all day, like all day long. I've been like, because that term makes people kind of cringe
Well,
a little, and I love what you said earlier.
it's meaning.
Yeah.
Everybody is a spiritual being because human beings are spiritual. One of the things that makes us human is we're able to think abstractively. I, I don't know if that's the right
Whatever
word,
word
but
you just said, but yeah, that.
yeah, that's another Katieism, by the way. I always make up how you
Abstractedly,
pronounce
remember that,
words.
everybody.
Yeah, it sounds good. So anyway, we can think with abstraction, and
Yeah.
that means we can think meaning, give things meaning. It's another layer and level of our ability to think that makes us human. So what gets you up in the morning? What's your why? Why do you get up? That's your spirituality. That's your meaning. That's why you are here. And so if people would ask themselves the question, am I living according to what is most important to me? That's my value. And that's what I can do. I can live every day, every moment according to my values.
Yeah. We have, not to ask too much of anybody anymore, because we did that in the beginning, but I do want to remind people, we started a Percolate Peace movement. And one of the things that I love most about that is you can go to the website. I'm trying to move it over to besteveryou.com, but for right now it's over at percolatepeace.com. You can go onto that website on the homepage and log in a moment of peace.
Mm.
It's like really that simple. Just log it in and hit enter, and it registers right on the website. And that, I mean, I see things on there, like I bought somebody groceries. I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
so many things on there that I never thought I would see. And it
Yep.
matters and means something to everybody. So if you need a little perspective, go there and read what people have written if you don't feel comfortable adding something. Wow.
And get your kids involved in that.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
your kids to think peacefully. Ask them to do something peace related every day.
Yeah.
Even just being kind to someone is an act of peace. Because if
Yeah.
everyone did it, can you imagine what we'd be living through right now?
It's a moment to definitely pay
Right.
attention to other people for sure. Um,
Kindness.
it,
Yes, absolutely. Any
you know,
act of kindness is an act of peace.
I think the one thing that in our busy, busy, busy world that I always like to remind people, and I know you do too, I probably learned it from you even, is to slow down, pause for our fellow humans, because you have no idea what
Mm,
they're going through in reality,
mm,
and to meet
mm.
everybody that you encounter with that grace, peace, gratitude, joy, love, kindness, whatever it is that's um, higher vibration than hate and hate and all the other
Right.
stuff. Meet people.
Compassion. Yeah.
Compassion is huge, yeah. And any other word you want to add that's similar to that, because you might be standing in line next to somebody in the grocery store who has just lost somebody, and you have no idea why they're walking so slow, or why
Right.
they can't find their credit card fast enough, or why they're
Right.
crying, or whatever it is. And
Right.
we as humans, I don't know that we do so good of a job about that. We like to honk our horn and rush people around and not pay super close attention, because maybe some of it's awkward when you're, standing in line next to a stranger, hi, what's going on in your life, kind of thing.
Right.
They might not answer, but maybe we should start doing that. I don't know.
Well, we absolutely should pay attention, because one of the things I've experienced with my hip repairing for almost a year now is people bump into you really easily.
Oh,
They don't pay attention anymore. They used to be, I remember when I was growing up, and I'm old, I'm 65, so I remember this. The days when if you entered into a subway or a train, people would get up for older people or somebody who was with a cane,
right,
they'd
right.
get up and give them the seat. They don't do that
Yes.
anymore.
Wow.
And so when you don't have an apparatus like a cane or something, they don't know that you're hurting. So people bustle into those places and they knock into you. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me while I've been healing, where I almost fell over
Yeah.
and almost fell again. And so it's really important. Slow the blank down.
Yeah. I want to share my dad's story right there.
Yeah,
A little
it's a
bit
good one.
opposite, but kind of, it's in the book. Similar. My dad had a stroke and was a stroke survivor from 2004 to 2018. And one of the things that happened from that stroke was he was basically blind. He never drove again, for example, after 2004. He had field cuts here and field cuts here, and then was basically blind. But he could still kind of see, but it was
Mm,
just real focused seeing. You know what I mean? He couldn't see, like if you were standing over here, he wouldn't be able to see you at all.
right.
He
Yeah.
had to see right in front of you. So anyway, he still loved to go to Target and get the new DVDs for the movies that were being released. And my brother and I took him there. I was back visiting home. My brother and I took him there, and my brother and I went off. You didn't have to baby him. He was like, I
Right.
got it, kind of thing.
Yep.
But he bumped into somebody because he can't see. And he bumped into
Right.
somebody, and my
Yep.
dad is a big dude. He was 6'5" or so. And somebody much shorter he bumped into them and almost knocked them over.
Yeah.
And he was so like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But the guy got up like with dukes up, ready
Yeah.
to, fight my dad.
Yep.
And my dad was, like, God, I'm so sorry, I'm blind, blah, 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 blah. The guy's like, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, and he's like, no, really, I'm a stroke survivor. I was blind. I'm blind. And the guy felt like such a turd
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that. He really did. He was just like, oh God, you really are blind, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And long story short, he then made himself on the computer, because he would write and do all sorts of things blind on the computer, cards that said, sorry, I'm blind. If I bumped into you, I mean, harm, blah, 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 all that kind of thing. And he would give the card out to people.
Yep.
But
Yep.
how sad is that in this day and age?
Oh, I mean,
You have to.
somebody banged into me in the subway and literally just,
Right?
and no, I'm sorry. And I said, excuse me? And I was so mad. I was like, you don't even say I'm sorry. And they just was like, so they might have spoken a different language either, but it just really,
But
people need to really recognize that there are in your vicinity, when you're in a crowded anywhere, people who will get hurt if you don't slow down.
yeah. And I still think there's, my son said, yeah, I don't think we're allowed to open doors for women anymore. That kind of thing, even, somebody yelled at him. One of my kids opened a door and she's like, I don't need you to do that. So it's this funky line we're walking where you are trying to be a nice fellow human and people get mad at it or whatever. But I've seen my husband have to reach up, because I'm 5'3" on a big hair day. So people don't naturally gravitate to me to reach things on high shelves. But when I'm standing with him, they'll say, can you get that for me?
Yeah.
And, it's just that moment of kindness, even where you grab something off the shelf for somebody in the grocery store, or let them go ahead of you or whatever. I'm big into the grocery store thing, because I think people can be extremely rude in grocery stores for some reason. And on the road, they honk and do funky things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I get I get groceries delivered because I can't stand going in there. I feel like I'm going to fall every minute.
Yeah.
Those carts are like, get out of the way, get out of the way.
And I always think, okay, they're speeding for a reason. They need to get to the hospital or something. You have no idea.
You have
Right?
no idea.
So,
and
anyway,
you try to give them grace. Yes.
And then the other one that I think people walk around with a lot is grief. And don't know that one for sure, because people are trying to get on with their lives or whatever with grief in tow. And that's a tricky one as well, because you can't tell why somebody might be grumpy or sad or whatever, or powering through. And so I guess you just have no idea what's on board with people.
No, everybody's got their stories.
Just be nice out there. Oh,
right. Be kind. Be kind.
Yeah. Be kind, be kind, be kind. We ran into 5 baseball players down here, high school baseball players, as we were on our walk this morning. And I went on full on baseball mom. I'm like, be kind, be kind, be kind, everybody. It's really funny. I love our baseball community. They were really cute. But it's going to rain today and all their stuff got canceled. They're like, what's your number one tip for being? I'm just be a team. Look out for each other. It's not a me game. It's a we game. My husband was saying that. And be kind to play for a purpose, all those things that matter. But anyway, what else? Anything else? We caught up finally. We did a podcast finally, Katie.
I know. I think one of the things you just said, which really reminded me of the Olympics this year, and they were so inspiring. And one of the most beautiful things is I watched a lot of the figure skaters, but a lot of the athletes had a very different attitude, which has been a shift in away from the real solid competition, go beat them, go get them. It's all about the medal. It was such a wonderful harmony that they were skating for their joy. They skated for joy. They skied for joy. Even if they fell, even if they won, it was for joy. It was because they love what other people feel when they watch them. And they love their sport. And a couple of them have said since they came home that there has been a shift in the way they're coached, the way they think, that they're really, it's very different. They get a real life now. They don't have to kill themselves to be in the Olympics.
I
And
love that you
hard
just said
work,
that.
yes, but they don't have to sacrifice their lives and their values. So I think there's a lesson there for all of us.
I love that you just said that, and I love that you saw that because
Yeah.
I got it. You're not the biggest fan of sports because of that. Sometimes
Well,
it makes you
sometimes it really
cringe.
hurts people. It
Yeah,
really, really, really hurts
does
people.
damage.
I've seen so many teenagers damaged by coaches
Oh yeah.
who push them and don't realize they need a life.
Yep.
And I've gone head to head with a few of them
Yeah.
because that's not, you're not raising a good human being, you're raising a robot.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
what I love now is that sports is catching up with what psychology's been saying forever, which is, and thank God for the athletes who've come out and talked about their mental health.
That's
Well,
what
of
I was just
course
gonna
they were
say.
depressed. I mean,
Right.
who wouldn't be?
Right.
You know, they felt beaten down all the time instead of encouraged and lifted up.
Yeah. I we used to say we had a college and then a pro athlete, and we used to talk about comprehensive and well-rounded. Be
Yes.
be more
Yeah.
than baseball all the time. You
Yeah.
have to go to school and get an education and play baseball there. Think like
Right.
that, kind of thing. But I love that you just said mental health because there were a couple there were a couple figure skaters. I didn't watch everything, but just I
Yeah.
love watching figure skating, so it comes to mind. There were a couple figure skaters who didn't do as well as anticipated. And, yeah, I'm sure crushing. Yep, I'm sure it was a
Yep.
blow and all these things, but it was so interesting to see the other professional athletes around the world show up for them, get them, and lift them up. That
Yes.
was so
Yes.
cool. And then
It
when
was.
they did the other skates, they did much better. And but you saw people in pressure moments sort of falter, and it didn't become the end of the world, kind of thing,
Right.
and
Well,
spin off into whatever.
yes, and they've been coming out with these statements of what they learned from that was, I love the sport. I love the crowd. I'm going to just get out there and do it for the crowd and for the love of the sport
Yep.
and the sportsmanship.
Yep.
And the medals are great. Yes, they're wonderful, but that's not the whole
Not
thing.
all of it. Yeah.
No, it's not. And it really was fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was really interesting this year. So, anything else before we go? We've probably got to go. We've been talking.
No, I think
We're caught up a little
we've
bit.
gassed on for people long enough, but we had to catch up. I mean, we haven't talked to anybody for a while, and we've
Yeah,
been busy doing our book.
yeah,
And we should tell people that we're going to be doing book tours and we're going to be doing conversations about the book, and we would love to hear from people if they read it and they want to tell us about it. And we encourage people, book clubs, circles of people who want to just be peaceful.
yeah.
Come together.
Yeah, come see us at a book signing. We've got it on our social media, and we'll put it on Best Ever You. And oh, I cannot remember what I was going to say. I was going to say something about the Peace Guidebook, and now I can't remember what it was. Just that it's a good book,
Oh,
I guess.
pre-order it.
Yeah,
Order it
you can
now. It'll
order it.
be in your box when you get when it comes out.
Yeah. Well, I love I think it was about the circles of peace. I
Yes.
really love this idea of, in your own community, start your own circle of peace.
Circle of
And
peace.
we had somebody who reviewed, this is what I was going to say. We had somebody who reviewed the book that, it becomes out of our control. You're really at the mercy of media, reviewers, everything. Once we write it, it goes out into the world. We can't control what people say about it or whatever. And somebody said,
Right.
how dare you two talk about such a topic as peace, but you did it.
Yeah,
I
that was
just love
so
that
cool. It
review.
was like he read it because he was really cynical and he was like,
Oh
I'm going to
yeah,
tear them apart. And then by the end, he was like, they did it.
they did it. Yeah,
They helped me understand peace. So please talk about it. Don't isolate. Don't feel helpless. You are not helpless. No one is helpless.
yeah, that's a
You
really good
are
point.
able to change in your own backyard.
Love it. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Now I can rock.
You can rock. I got to figure out. Well, you're on recording, rocking, because I can't figure out how to shut off Riverside. There, stop. Keep rocking, Katie. Rock us on out.
I'm
Ready?
rocking you
Bye,
out, guys.
everybody.
Rocking to
Rock it
peace.
out. You need music.